straw, kid. No hard feelings, huh? Oh, I'm locking the elevator behind me, so don't bother trying to follow.
What? How can you just... I better figure out another way out of here. And fast.
Banks, over here. Easy there, fellas. Let this guy through. He's with me. Is what they're saying true? Fatty Walsh is dead?
I think I'd prefer to plead the fifth on that one, Miss Douglas.
It's not exactly a secret that you were working for him.
Maybe not, but I've realized it's time for another career change.
Well, I'm afraid you're out of luck if you were planning on going back to Coral Gables. Our friend, George Merrick, got ousted from the city commission last June. Just as well, really. I was starting to get sick of writing all that bait-and-hook baloney. There's a new mayor, too. Dammers had some medical issue and went back up north.
Is that so?
In any case, the boom's over. It's all gone bust now. Fact is, the whole world is changing.
Yes, I'm beginning to get that impression.
So what's next for you? Aside from dodging the police, that is.
I'm not sure, but I'll try and figure something out. Good night, Miss Douglas, and thanks. I guess I owe you one.
Don't mention it. Good night, Mr. Banks, and good luck. Something tells me we're all going to be needing quite a lot of it very soon.
Another round for you, Bill?
Sure, why not? Ever since they started letting us drink again, I just can't say no. So, has the old sad sack been in tonight?
Not yet, but it's coming up on 9. He should be here any minute.
You know, he may be a real son of a bitch, but I can't help but feel sorry for him.
Well, I don't. Plenty of people are hurting these days. A whole bunch are way worse off than him. I'll take those poor folks in the Dust Bowl, for example. Anyway, just because he used to be a real estate big shot doesn't give him the excuse to be disagreeable. But hey, as long as he pays and keeps to himself, I have no quarrel with him.
Maybe I can get him going tonight and see if we can finally find out if he was really working for the mob.
Well, speak of the devil. Good evening, Mr. Banks. What'll it be tonight?
Gin and tonic, and go easy on the tonic.
Yes, sir. Will this be on your tab?
It is every other night. Why should tonight be any different?
Here you are, sir.
Say, you got a light, pal? Thanks, buddy.
Have I got horns coming out of my forehead or something?
No, sir.
Then why are you staring at me like I do?
You used to work in real estate, didn't you?
Yeah, so? What of it?
So, I'm curious about what it was like to be right in the middle of the land boom. But really, I'm more curious about what happened afterwards. Is it true you were working for Fatty Walsh?
I see word gets around. But I've got my own word of advice. If I were you, I'd stop asking those sorts of questions before things get unpleasant.
Oh, is that a threat? This is exciting. Are you threatening me?
Bill, knock it off.
Does this answer your question? Oh, my head. Well, I suppose I've woken up in worse spots than this before. What's that over there on the wall? Coral Gables, the Golden Galleon. Huh. The days when I was an upstart kid who was gonna make something of himself and restore the family name. Look where that got me. Ah, forget it. Life's too short to hold grudges. After all, if it hadn't been for Merrick, I'd probably be panhandling in Bryant Park right now. Might as well go see how the old bird is doing these days. Can't possibly be worse off than me. This place hasn't changed one bit. At least something from the old days is still around.
Alfie Banks? What on earth are you doing here?
Mrs. Merrick, I know it's been a while, and I'm sorry.
10 years is much more than a while in my book, young man. In any case, I'm afraid you've picked a bad time to call.
What's the matter?
It's George, that stubborn fool. He's gonna get himself killed.
Killed? How?
You mean you haven't heard?
There's a hurricane coming. They're saying it might be as bad as the one in 26. It's set to pass through the Keys tomorrow afternoon.
So, why hasn't anyone prepared here?
Because it's not expected to come this far north.
Then there's something I'm not understanding. How exactly is George in danger?
We've been living down in Matacumbe Key for the past few years. George opened up a fishing club, and we've been running it together ever since he was ousted from the city commission. When he heard the hurricane was coming, he sent me up here and refused to budge. He said he wasn't going to let his dream die twice.
That's crazy! We have to get him out of there!
I'm afraid there isn't much that can be done. They've stopped all the trains going south.
There has to be a way. Don't worry, ladies. I'll get George back here safely. I owe him that much, at least.
Please be careful, Alfie.
And good luck.
Begging your pardon, sir.
What can I do for you?
When does the next train leave?
It doesn't.
What?
Well, haven't you heard? There's a hurricane set to strike the Keys.
Yes, I have, actually.
Well, then you should know that all the trains have been canceled.
You don't understand. It's of the utmost importance that I get down to the Keys.
I do understand. And I'm afraid you're out of luck, friend. There's only one train going down there, and it's not for passengers.
Why not?
Because it's being sent to evacuate the WPA construction workers who haven't left yet. If you need to take a fishing trip, I suggest you wait a few days.
There's something important we need to discuss.
Is there? Do tell.
Look, friend, it's extremely important I get on that train. I have a friend in the Keys who needs my help.
Your friend has probably already been evacuated.
I know for a fact he hasn't.
I still don't see how that's...
A man...
And if I let you go down there, you might get your... So unless you give me...
I need to...
Eric? The Coral Gables?
He's been running a fishing... Please, you don't...
Well, I'm sorry, but I have to...
Begging your pardon.
What can I do? Have a good...
Look, I'm desperate. I need to get on that train. Can I maybe offer you a drink to look the other way?
A drink? You're trying to buy me off with a drink? You're just lucky. I've been craving one for hours. Go on, before I change my mind. And if anyone asks, you don't tell them I let you on board.
Deal. Can't see a thing. We should be well on our way. Now I just need to find a way out of this car. The storm seems to have made landfall already. Horse feathers! Sticking around back here probably isn't the best idea. I should head towards the front of the train.
What? Who are you? What are you doing on this train?
The name's Banks. I snuck on board because I need to get to the Keys.
You're crazy. What were you thinking?
I thought this train was meant to be taking supplies down there.
It was, but the people who sent it underestimated the power of the storm. We're only going forward because there's no way to turn back. The train is already starting to come apart. You're lucky it came up here when you did. I was just about to detach the locomotive.
But why?
Because if even one car gets blown off the tracks, the rest of the train will too. It's not worth... Damn it! I was afraid this would happen. If we don't equalize the pressure in this car, in the next few minutes it'll come apart. Help me get one of these... Good going, Banks. Now let's get to the locomotive.
The wind seemed to have died down slightly. We must be entering the eye of the storm. Or maybe not. I'd better find George. There isn't much time. George?
Alfie Banks? I have to admit, you were the last person I expected to see walking through that door. What brings you to my little club?
I came to get you, George. In case you weren't aware, there's a huge hurricane on its way.
I am well aware, yes. In fact, I sent Eunice away because of it.
I know. She's the one who told me where I could find you.
I see. I have to confess, I don't fully understand why you've come. But as long as you're here, go ahead and have a seat.
I haven't got time to talk. We have to leave.
I insist. Besides, I'm not going anywhere.
George,
Yes?
I know we didn't part on the best of terms the last time we saw each other. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I was young and stupid. I thought the world owed me.
Apology accepted, Alfie. We've all been there. So, now that we've got that out of the way, what else is on your mind?
Why haven't you evacuated?
Ever heard the old saying, the captain always goes down with his ship? I never abandoned Coral Gables. I see no reason why I should abandon the Caribbean Club.
Coral Gables was lucky. It didn't get the worst of the hurricane in 26. You're right in the path of this one.
That may be, but I think I've taken sufficient precautions.
George, we need to leave. Isn't there any way I can convince you?
You did a pretty good job of convincing plenty of other people in the old days. I'm not opposed to hearing what you have to say. So, Alfie, why is it so important we go back?
Coral Gables needs you back, George. It's just not the same without you.
Oh, I hardly think that's true. Coral Gables has been fine without me the past few years. We had our moment in the sun. It's time for a new generation to take over.
There's still so much left to do in Coral Gables. You can't just give up now.
Oh, really? This is an interesting change of attitude. Didn't you give up on Coral Gables when you decided to work for Tom Walsh?
I saw the way things were headed and decided to go for a more lucrative opportunity.
For which I can hardly blame you, but I just wish you hadn't jumped ship so soon.
What else was I supposed to do? Drown with the rats?